The purpose of trials. We are all tested in different ways. Some people are tested in their health, while others are tested in their wealth. When health is given to us, how do we use it? When wealth is given to us, how do we spend it? And then, when wealth or health is taken from us, how do we respond? Our trials also serve many purposes in this life and the next. Our trials can cure us, purify us, strengthen us, and bring us back to who we were meant to be. They prepare us to meet our Creator with a beautiful heart. That heart will be covered with scars, but each of those scars will mark how this life tried to defeat us but never could. Tests as cure. Be careful. Many people believe that Allah tests us only to see what we will do. Yes, He sees our response, but keep in mind, He already knows how we will react in any given moment. He knows all that in front or behind us. He is the creator of time itself. So look deeper. Tests don't just show us to God, tests show us to ourselves. If we have a disease that is hidden deep within our hearts, if we have a weakness hidden deep inside, tests will reveal them. Tests are not meant to humiliate us. Tests are meant to identify the disease or weakness so we can be cured and strengthened. When I was a teenager, my diabetic father started getting chest pain. He went several times to his doctor, who misdiagnosed his chest pain as spasm of the trachea and gave him an inhaler. For 4 years, my father never knew what was actually broken inside. Then, one day in the summer of 1998, my father did a stress test with a radioactive marker. That day, my father found that he had close to 100% blockage of many of his heart vessels. The doctors didn't let him leave the hospital and he had to undergo emergency quadruple bypass surgery. When a patient comes to a doctor, he undergoes a stress test. This means his body and especially his heart are put through a stressful situation, running on a treadmill in order to identify where the heart blockage is located. Once the problem is identified, it can be treated. And what do we say to a doctor who puts us through such a test? Do we consider the doctor cruel? Do we show anger? No. In fact, we pay the doctor to do so, and then we show only gratitude for subjecting us to a literal test, stress test, because it saved our life. Tribulation reveals what is inside. Observe yourself when you are tested. What you see in what is hidden inside. Why does Allah bring it out? It is out of mercy that it is out of mercy that Allah reveals what is hidden first to ourselves. He reveals it so that it can be cured. Before a doctor can begin the process of treatment, the first step is proper diagnosis. Trials are like an x-ray done in the spiritual heart. It will allow us to see the diseases that are hidden deep within ourselves. It reveals the cracks so that they can be repaired. What can our trial tell us about ourselves and those around us? The Quran teaches us that we are given tests so that Allah would reveal what is in your chest and purify that what is deep in your heart. Quran 3 154. We must ask, what has the trial revealed about me? How strong was my spiritual immune system? That's exactly what Allah does through Bala, that is, hardships or tests. He reveals us to ourselves first, but He also reveals us to others. Consider what the coronavirus pandemic revealed. Some people were found deliberately trying to infect others, while others risked their life and the lives of their families to save others. Some people used it an opportunity to hoard or jack up prices, while others used the opportunity to give off their wealth and time for the sake of serving others. As a result of this global crisis, most of the world went into lockdown. Research conducted by Austrian, British, and Belgian scientists found that during the peak of lockdown in April 2020, the number of people reporting depression and anxiety reached 52% times more than the pre COVID-19 average of only 17%. This global trial also revealed many of the cracks that we had internally, both individually and collectively. The National Domestic Violence Hotline reported a significant increase in domestic violence during the lockdown. One could argue that the crisis caused these problems, but perhaps the crisis doesn't cause our problem. Perhaps the crisis only reveals our problems. Perhaps our trials bring what is hidden to the surface so it can be addressed and healed. Consider the phrase coming to a head. What does it refer to? According to the Cambridge Dictionary, it means to reach a point where some strong action has to be taken. The origin of the phrase dates back to 1800s and refer to a boil coming to a head and getting ready to burst. A boil is an infection that forms under the skin. A red lump starts to form and it slowly fills with white pus. After a few days, the boil turn white and the pus is ready to come out. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not want us to remain in suffering. If there is an infection under the surface, deep within our hearts or in our lives, Allah put us to take action to heal it. Trials serve as a massive microscope on our lives. The disease threatening our well being can no longer hide under the magnifying power of trials. Through these trials, both individual and collective, Allah shines a spotlight on the weak link in our immune system and the collective immune system of the world. It is pure divine mercy to reveal what is sick so it can be healed, to show us what is broken so it can be fixed and strengthened. The question is how? How can we not only survive our difficulties but thrive within our difficulties? Anti-Fragile and Japanese Art. Ernest Hemingway wrote, "The world breaks everyone, and afterward many are strong at the broken places." Kintsugi is the Japanese art of repairing broken pottery with powdered gold, silver, or platinum. This is due to the belief that something is more beautiful after it has been broken and repaired, and that our breaks should be part of our story rather than something we hide. The human heart has the capacity to be like this Japanese art. In his book Anti-Fragile, Things That Gain from Disorder, Nassim Nicholas Taleb discusses a profound concept. He defines antifragility as the ability to actually benefit and improve because of disruptions, volatility, and uncertainty. Human beings have this God given capacity to not only survive but thrive and go through uncertainty and challenges. Post traumatic growth. The phenomena of growing through challenges was termed post traumatic growth. In the past, there was a lot of work on post traumatic stress disorder, that is PTSD. PTSD is anxiety that develops in some people after extremely traumatic events such as combat, crime, an accident, or natural disaster. People with PTSD may relive the event via intrusive memories, flashbacks, and nightmares. They may avoid anything that reminds them of the trauma and have anxiety that disrupts this life. Many of these studies looked at surviving trauma, but new research on the post traumatic growth found that some people come out of trauma with a renewed appreciation of life. The post traumatic growth inventory surveys how people respond to adversity to drive personal development, and it covers five dimensions: new possibilities, relating to others, personal strength, appreciation of life, and spiritual change. Allah and His Messenger, peace be upon him, talk about post traumatic growth throughout the Quran and Sunnah.